Welcome to today's webinar. We are going to be talking about how to stop wasting money with online leads and how to master the telephone and generate $100,000 a year with our coach, Darryl Davis. To get the most from today's webinar, we want you to take really good notes. We also want you to use that Q&A panel there to ask any questions you might have. Don't get stressed out if we don't answer them right away. We are going to be taking the questions at the end. So just know that we'll take those all at the end. If you want to reach us at any time after today's webinar, you can reach us on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl's the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually one of the #1 best-selling books to real estate agents on Amazon.
Hot book.
Hot book. Darryl was also named one of the top real estate newsmakers for 2021 by Risk Media Magazine in the Big Hearted and Brave category. And he's the recipient of the coveted CSP designation, which is given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide by the National Speakers Association. On that note, Darryl, you ready to take it away?
All right. Thank you, Julie. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. So I do have a little bit more getting ready for the webinar before we get started. I want to address this question that usually, if you've never been to one of our sessions before, that this is a normal question people have. Is this nothing's free in life? It must be a sales pitch. It's not true in this over here at Power Headquarters. But to be completely transparent with you, this is part of a weekly training program that we do for our power agents. So some of you on this call, you're power agents, you know who you are. And then there's a group of you that we call our guests. So we want to welcome the guests to this call. I do want to talk to the guests for a second, point something out. From time to time during this training session, I will be talking directly to the power agents about maybe where to find something on the website. So I just want you to be aware of that, although you're going to get a tremendous amount of value. If you are a guest, I will just, and you have that question, what is a power agent? I'll just, for 30 seconds, get that question answered for you. It's our membership program. At the pandemic, we locked in a price for people at $47. We're still holding that price right now. But any guests that want to kick the tires for a complete 30 days, they can do it just for $5. And because of that, they get entire access to the entire website. They get bonuses today, which are almost $2,000. You get to keep the bonuses. And you can cancel anytime during the trial, after the trial. It's month to month. So it's a really good deal. I'll show you some of those bonuses later on. Now, I do want to talk to the power agents for a second before we get to the content. Special announcements, power agents. First of all, something we've been talking about, and that's the trunk or treat. For those new power agents that may not be aware, because Halloween's coming around the corner, the concept about trunk or treat, which is why it's such a great marketing tool. A lot of our top-end power agents, like Catherine, who's the #1 agent for Keller in the whole state of Florida, and Tristan, the CEO of LabCode, he's a power agent. They love this. The trunk or treat, instead of going door to door with you tell the community, hey, I'm going to do a parking lot. You decorate everybody come to the parking lot. The kids can go from car to car. It's COVID friendly. It's outdoors. It's like shooting fish in a fish bowl, because you've got all of your leads, if you will, in a parking lot. It's a fun, engaging thing. It's some work to do this, gang, but it is off the hook awesome. So what we did for you power agents is we created a Halloween trunk or treat guide that has all the promotional flyers, the letters, how to do the whole thing. So we made it super easy for you. Power agents, make sure that you download the guide. And by the way, if you're wanting to know how to find the guide, if you just go to the Power Agent website and you type in the word guide, there's a lot of ways to find it, but this is perhaps the easiest. Type in the word guide, and bada bing, you will find other guides that we have for your power agents, but that's the trunk or treat will be part of the top of the search. Okay, one more announcement, and then we're getting into this training here, and that is power agents. We launched a few weeks ago this tutorial to help you get acclimated to the power program and all the great things that it has. So make sure that you go to the dashboard and you click on that thing, tutorial, right? And then you will see over to the left, Power Agent Onboarding Program. It'll give you links to things on the site, what to do this week. You get little bonuses and points. We made it gamify. Anyway, it really gets you acclimated to the Power Program. So check that out. Even old, experienced Power agents, check it out because you might find some nuggets that you didn't know existed as part of your membership. All right, with that said, let's get into this content on how to stop paying for leads and master the telephone. Now, these weekly webinars that we do, we actually like to call them training sessions because that's what they are. Some of them we go wide, and then some of them we go deep. This particular session, we're going to go wide because I'm going to give you a bunch of different ways to master the telephone as far as dialogue. Actually, you could say we're going deep on just the telephone, but I'm giving you a lot of different choices, and that's where the wide part comes in. What are the benefits to mastering the telephone? Why is this such an important and powerful? So we're starting now, gang. If you've been distracted at all, I need you to really focus on what I'm going to tell you. And let me tell you why what I'm about to tell you is so important. Because if we're honest, some of us on this call, not all of us, but some of us, we don't like to make phone calls. We'd rather go to the dentist or we rather show houses. But the telephone, it's a little scary for some of us. I saw that on some of the quotes. On some of the comments. Let me tell you, one of the ways to get past your fear is to get real clear about what's the benefit for you, what's in it for you, why is this so important for you, to help you push past the fear. You having any fear of the telephone is a normal thing. It's totally normal. A kid going to school for the first time, they have fear going to school. It's normal to have fear. You just don't want fear having you. And one of the strategies to do that is to be really clear about what the benefit is. One of them is you will never go hungry again. Mic drop. You will never go hungry again. Let me tell you something. One of the sessions that before the COVID thing, every year we would have an annual event where the agents would bring for sale by owners to the live training class. And then I would randomly pick, I think I'm the only speaker that does this, real estate speaker that does this. I randomly pick from the audience the FSBOs. And then I would call live from the stage. And we pipe the phone through the speakers so the class can hear me and the FSBO. So that way they don't think I'm calling a relative or something, say, hey, make believe you're. And let me tell you something. My batting average, if I call 4 FSBOs and talk to 4, I'll schedule 3 appointments. I am really good at this part of real estate. But here, let me go back to that benefit here. You will, where is it? Oh, sorry. You will never go hungry again. Here's the power that I feel being able to do that because I mastered the telephone. If I ever wanted to go back into real estate, not that I would, but if I ever did, if I was still an agent now, the feeling I would have is this. You could drop me anywhere in the middle of the United States with nothing but my cell phone. I'm looking for my cell phone and a list of FSBOs, and I'll make 6 figures. You will never go hungry again financially when you can master the telephone. Here's another thing. It costs very little money. Part of the title of this is not buying leads. Some of us don't have thousands of dollars, tens of thousands to risk on social media ads or buying leads and then having an hour workout. We don't have that ability to risk thousands of dollars. When it comes to mastering the telephone, it costs very little money to do this. The third thing is you have very little competition. Listen, if we're honest, some of you, when we're done on this call, when we're done on this webinar, there's going to be a percentage of you, probably 20% of you, that will actually apply what I taught. The other 80%, they're going to go back doing the way that they always do. It's unfortunate. Are you going to be one of the 20% that's going to actually implement and have a breakthrough in your business by the time we're done in this webinar? You can. You got to step up. Number 4 is it'll make you a better agent. Let me tell you why this over here is going to make you a better agent. Part of think about what you do. Working, negotiating offers, presenting offers, showing properties, doing listing appointments, yada, yada. The thing about the telephone, gang, is it takes away some of the senses associated with communication. You know, the five senses: sight, touch, taste, blah, blah, blah. It takes away the visual aspect of communication. And let me tell you something, the visual aspect. If I were doing this webinar on a podcast, it would be totally different, even harder for you to learn. There's something about the visual aspect that kind of hopefully sucks you into the conversation. And you can not just hear my my fluctuations and my passion, but you can see it as well. So on a telephone, it's taking away one of those senses. So what does that force you to do? It forces you to get better at languaging, the words that you use to call somebody and turn and generate a lead. It helps you get better at asking questions, inquiring. It helps you master language. Now, when you get really good at mastering language, and then you go on a listing appointment, bada bing, it's so much easier because you've mastered that skill set. Number 5, you can generate at least one listing in the next 30 days. I wish I could see you right now because I'd ask you, raise your hand if you'd like to get a listing in the next 30 days. How do you get a listing? Watch it. How do you get a listing, one listing in the next 30 days? If all you did for the next 30 days is you did 1 hour of hitting the phones with what I'm about to teach you, if you did that, do you think, without me even showing you what I'm going to teach you, do you think if you got on the phone for an hour and you talked to homeowners about whatever, do you think if you did that every day for 30 days, do you think you might generate some leads, maybe some appointments, and even a listing, at least one? Absolutely you will. So this is exciting. Okay. Oh, I have this. Julie, I forgot to plug in my wires over here.
No.
Oh no. I forgot that I had this. I want to show everybody this. Hang on a second. And let's see if I can do this. I forgot how to set it up. Let me see. Okay. Hang on a second. Julie, when I do this, tell me if the volume. Can you still there, Julie?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can. Let's see if this volume is going to work.
Oh, they're going to love this.
Okay. Don't say that, Julie, because if it doesn't work, they're going to get disappointed now. Hang on. Here we go.
Manage
Julie, I want you to tell me, because this is really inspiring. This is from one of our power agents. Julie, tell me if the sound works, okay?
Okay.
Good morning, Darryl. Good morning, everybody. I am doing this testimonial for you, Darryl, to show you how your program has helped me. So I did subscribe to RedX, and I went ahead and I got the single dialer. So one day I am dialing for sale by owners, which is not my favorite. Dialing for sale by owners, and I'm multitasking, so I'm not really looking to see, following. And I look up and I see that the dialer is dialing a for sale by owner for land, which is not something that is really that I do that have experience with, but basically residential homes. So anyway, just as I'm about to move on to the next number, the seller answers. I have a nice conversation with him. He says, I said to him, have you thought about listening with an agent? He said, I just put it on for sale by owner, and I want to give it some time, maybe a month. I said, okay, so hold on to my information. And, if things don't work out, I hope it all works out for you. But if it doesn't, I'm happy to help you. So pushing forward, he calls me 1 week later. I list the land for sale. I ended up getting it under contract, and I got both ends, which was the first time in my whole career since 2007. I got both ends. I asked them what their plan was. They said they were going to be buying a house on the water. I ended up helping them buy a house on the water. And then the buyer of the land calls me up and says that he wants to sell it. So basically, from one call that I really didn't want, which was vacant land for sale by owner, I sold the land for $150,000. I got both ends. I helped the sellers of the land buy a house for $700,000. And then I relisted the land for the buyer of the land for $185,000. So thank you very much, Darryl.
That ain't bad. So because she was making her calls, she generated over $1 million in business. This is what I'm talking about, gang. Powerful stuff. All right, let's continue on. Here's something I want to share with you, and that is to change your perception. Now, this is very important what I'm about to share. I'm going to go over dialogue with you, gang. So I want to talk a little attitude with you, and then I'm going to give you specific dialogue. Because listen, if we're honest, right? If I give you the dialogue and I show you how to make the calls, but if you don't feel like making the calls, you're not going to make the calls. You can have the best plan. You can have the best diet program, whatever. And if you don't feel like doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you're not going to do it. So I want to help you to have a breakthrough in how you feel about the telephone. I want you to change your perception. See, like, for example, they say to this glass, what do we say? You should focus on the glass being half full or half empty. What do they say? Focus on the glass being half full. But I'd like to change the perception of that. See, what I tell our power agents is that when you focus on what's full, what's already there, you can't add to where something already exists. When it's full of information, there's no room to add anything. It's in where it's empty is where you can grow and add more, where you can grow from possibility. Where there isn't any water is where possibility exists. I say focus on the glass, the empty part of the glass, not the full part of the glass. And when it comes to telephone and making our calls, some of us, we think of, there was a movie out called The Boiler Room, based on a true story on Long Island, where I'm from. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, one of my friends was one of the guys that actually worked at this firm that this movie was based on. And this concept about the stockbrokers just closing people and doing maybe not really great things. Or another movie that came out, The Wolf of Wall Street, right? So some of us, when we think of telephone sales or prospecting, we think of it as a negative thing, that it's a hard sell. It's you got to be really, you got to stand up and have your headset and you have your thing and we're closing people. Let's close them. Let's get some listings. And I like to change your perception on that. Power agents, you know what I'm about to say. The philosophy of a power agents don't sell people, we serve people. And power agents don't close people, we coach people. It's a different philosophy, a different perception. See, what I like you to do is to look at the people on the other end of the phone, whoever it is that you're calling, is that they need your help perhaps. Especially for sale boners, especially expires, because people, listen, when we were telling people to shelter in, where were we telling them? Shelter in where? Your home. Real estate. During this pandemic, this is why our industry has gone up so much, because we really realize as human beings, man, if I'm going to be sheltered in, I got to love where I'm living. And this is why people are spending money to improve their house, or they want to buy a new house because they want to buy their shelter in home, because that's how important it is. Here's the point, gang. You are essential in real estate. You're not a salesperson. What you do is you help people on the most important thing in their life. I'm going to say that again. You are licensed by your state to help people on the most important aspect of their life, and that's their home. You are an essential worker. So what I'd like you to do is get on the phone to help people with their real estate needs. Because listen, I'm a real estate coach for agents, power agents. I want you to look at your license as a certification that your state has certified you as a coach on real estate for civilians. Your job is to coach civilians on how to get through the maze of real estate. And I like you to look at the telephone that way, relate to the telephone that way. You're not selling, you're serving. You're going to help people. With that said, let me go through this dialogue. Now, I gave you a lot of extra material. I'm going to have to go through this dialogue quickly, so hang in. Past client. One of the things I'm going to suggest, power agents, because let me go back. I'm going to give you 10 dialogues. We're going to look at 10 dialogues that you use on the phone, 10 on the phone. And you don't have to do all 10. What I'm going to suggest is that you pick 1 or 2 or 3 favorites and you be consistent. Now, power agents, we created a chart for you. You see the chart? At the top, it says Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, over to the left. So the game is, remember what I said, 1 listing in the next 30 days? If every day you did 2 or 3 prospecting items to shake the trees, to generate appointments, you will have a breakthrough in your business. Let's talk about the past client dialogue. Let's go through it really quick because I got so much to give you. Like Julie said, if you have questions, you just write it down. We're going to cover them. So if you're talking to a past client that you haven't talked to in a while, here's your way to follow up with them. Hi, is this Mary? Yeah, well, hey, how are you? Good. Okay, great. Listen, recently, it's been a while since we talked, and recently I've been thinking about my past clients, and I just want to check in, see how you guys are doing. Man, come on, we could do this call. Let's go on. Now start to talk about them. When you do that, when you call me, say, I just want to check, see how you guys are doing. Make sure you focus on them. Don't talk about you at all. How are the kids? How's John? How's the house? Are you loving the house? Okay, good. How's work? Great. Bah, bah, bah. And after a while, because you're talking about them, they're going to feel a little guilty, a little like uncomfortable, like I'm just talking about me. Oh my God. So they're going to ask, how are you doing? They will ask you how you're doing. And then when they ask you how you're doing, you're going to say this, because, well, let me tell you, Mayor, because the interest rates have been so low, I'm finding people are falling into one of two categories. Some people, they're actually refinancing to take some money out of the property because they have the equity and the rate's so low, and they're finding that they can improve their property and not impact their mortgage payment too much. Or they say, boy, I'm just going to buy my dream home. My house has gone up so much. I've built so much equity. I'm going to sell them. So I'm finding people are one of those two categories. And then after that, they're going to be, really? Wow, what do you think? They may do this. Well, you think, Darryl, how much do you think our house is worth? Once they ask that, then you're going to start the conversation. You know how to do that to generate an updated market analysis for your clients. And then you can say to them, listen, you need anything else? Consider me a hotline. Just give me a call. By the way, you can actually tweak this dialogue to use it even for friends and family. I think we have some friends and family. We do. Here's some extra dialogue. If, let's say, you're calling your first phone call to friends and family. Hi, this is so-and-so. Hey, this is Darryl Davis. How are you doing? The reason for a call is I just want to reach out, see how you're doing with so much that's changed in the market in our world. There's a lot of people that have questions. Just want to let you know I'm here. See if you need anything. By the way, how are things in the neighborhood with your house? And again, just breaking the ice. You don't call people up and say, hey, you want to sell your house? If you have, especially if you haven't talked to them in a while. Calling friends and family. Here you go. Hi, this is a blast from the past. If I called my friend Andy, hey, Andy, this is a blast from the past. How you doing? Good. I was just going through my phone contacts and I decided it was too long since we talked. So how are you? Great. I'm great. Now talk about anything other than real estate. Just you're calling a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Hey, when you feel there's an opening, mention this number 4. When you feel there's an opening, mention your real estate and share why you love about it. So when that opening happens, saying, yeah, I'm in real estate, but I'm sure you're the market is hot. And I just, when I became an agent like 5 years ago, I didn't realize how much I love it. I just so love it because I realized, especially during this pandemic, how important people's homes are. And I have so many more people reaching out that I can help. And so anyway, I'm loving it. So you talk about positivity about real estate. Now, getting off talk about real estate, unless they show interest by saying, hey, but I didn't call to talk about business. So if you feel like they think you're starting to be like a salesperson about real estate, move off that. Say, hey, listen, I don't want to talk about business. I just want to say hello and see how you're doing. Then ask what their Facebook or social media is and connect with them and stay in touch. Put them on your mailing list like that. So the thing about this kind of dialogue, it's going, you have a slew of, there's so many people, unless you're homeless, right? Or you rent it, but even your people renting, they have a need that's real estate related, right? Because they're renting, maybe they can buy a house. There's so many, if you've got 1,000 contacts in your phone, there's at least 800 potential pieces of business there that you got to get in touch with people. Number 2, let's talk about rent by owners. Rent by owners. Rent by owners, and what I love about rent by owners, that people that are trying to rent their properties, is that they may have a need. Like they're thinking about just getting a tenant in there, but what if you can help them sell their property? So here's how the dialogue goes for a landlord, a homeowner who's trying to rent their property. Say, identify, hi, I'm calling about the rental. Is it still available? Yes, it is. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? Good. The reason why I was calling is I do see you renting your place, but I was wondering if I had someone who wanted to buy your house for a nice profit, would that be of something of interest to you? Would you consider selling? See, there's a lot of houses out there that the landlords, especially because of the eviction moratorium, there's some investors, they would like to unload their property, especially in this high market. But they may not have really thought it through. They're just letting me put that ad out to get a new tenant in. So there's a ton of business there. Now, if they say they'd be interested, ask those report questions about the bedrooms, the baths, the conditions, and all that kind of stuff. What time, and then you just confirm. So that's easy. That's an easy, once they tell you they're interested, that's easy. Power agents, what I'm about to show you is in the farming and self-promotion mailings. I know we're talking about mastering the telephone and not paying for leads, but I do want to tell you, just for the power agents guests, give me a second, is that if you wanted follow-up pieces for phoning any of these calls, there is a ton in there in the farming section of the Power Program website. For example, prices are up, now's the time to sell. You know, this is a flyer, you customize it at the bottom, tell them, man, this is still a hot market, this is the time to sell. Okay, let's go to number 3, the orphan dialogue. Now, what is an orphan? An orphan is somebody who bought or sold through your company. The agent who did that transaction no longer works in your company. So that means they're a past client of no agent. Now, you and I both know the agent who left the office, maybe they're staying in touch with those people. It doesn't matter what they're doing or not doing. You're going to ask your broker for all of the deals where the agent who did that deal doesn't work for the company anymore, and ask if you can adopt them into your past clients. Because what you're going to do is you're going to do you're going to call and introduce yourself. By the way, I don't think I have this here in these slide decks, but power agents also in the Power Program website for you, there's a letter that you can print out and have your broker sign it that introduces that client to you. So it's a little braggadocious type of letter saying how great you are, and Mary's going to get in touch with you, our agent, blah, blah, blah. And so you can do that too. Send the letter out first and then do a follow-up call, introducing yourself, follow up to the letter. Hi, I'm looking for Mary Johnson there. Yes, well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Great. Well, the reason why I was calling is actually to apologize. Oh, for what? Well, it seems as though you bought a house from us about 5 years ago and through our company, and the agent who was involved in that transaction is no longer working for the company. And so the reason for the apology is that it seems as though we lost touch with you. And so I've been appointed by my broker to be the new representative from our company, that if you should ever have any real estate questions, needs, handyman, whatever it is, questions about the value of our home, all that stuff, I'm here to serve you in that need. Oh, well, that's very nice of you. Thank you. By the way, here's number 4. By the way, how are you guys enjoying the house? You know, I didn't sell it, so I didn't get to see it. How do you like it? Have you made any improvements to it? Did you change anything up? Oh, I'm curious. What do you like best about the neighborhood? And what am I doing here, gang? Let me tell you something. I was talking to one of our VIP power agents, Sadar, that a phone conversation is about building a relationship using your words and language. And so when you first start that call, they don't know you. They don't know if you're a nice person. They don't know if they're going to like you. They might even be a little defensive. Part of what you do, gang, in all of the calls, not just what I've taught you so far, it's about building that connection and that rapport. And I cannot stress this enough. When you really focus on the person you're talking to, like what has the, let me tell you, okay, I'm getting into extra material. This is not part of the training. So here you go. Part of what gives us fear is because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to perform, to produce a result. You know, if I were in a live atmosphere where I can talk to you right now, power agents, you can talk to me every Monday in the coaching calls. I love the coaching calls every Monday. But if we were talking right now, I'd ask you a question saying, when you call somebody, especially a FSBO, for example, what should you be committed to? And every time, now I've been training over 30 years, and every time I'd ask an audience of agents, when you call for sale by owner, what should you be committed to? They always answer the same thing. Always, to get an appointment. And that is the worst thing to be committed to. And the reason why that's the worst thing, watch. Number one is if you don't get the appointment, you failed. So you're setting up a very high pressure game for yourself that if you got the appointment you wanted, and if you didn't, you lost. So you're already nervous to begin with. Now you add that to it, forget about it. Now you're overwhelmed with fear and nervousness. That's number one. Number two is if you're committed to getting an appointment, who is it about? Who is the call about? It's about you. It ain't about them. So I'm telling you, what you should be committed to on every call is not getting an appointment, not getting business. Your commitment should be, here it comes, to build a relationship with another human being. If you were to ask me, Darryl Davis, what is the secret to you calling 4 FSBOs and getting 3 appointments? I just gave it to you. My commitment was never to get the appointment. My commitment was always to build a relationship with another human being. Now, how do you build a relationship with another human being? You got to ask questions. You got to care more about them. You got to be over there. You can't be here worried about doing it the right way. You got to be over there to get to know them, to help them, to serve them, not sell them. When you make it about them, then it's not about you. That's how you get rid of the fear, because fear is about you. And if it lives over here, it doesn't live over there with them. I hope that helped you. So a lot of the dialogue you will see, it's about building that relationship, nurturing that relationship. I hope that was okay. Julie, was that all right? That was not my notes for today.
One of my favorite things for you to teach is that win, lose, win, win. I love it. I was so hoping you would.
Okay, good. All right. So getting back to this, when you talk to, let me get us back in the zone here, the orphan dialogue. So when you're building that relationship with this person that you've never met, but they bought from your company before, at some point you may offer a service. And that service might be an updated market analysis of the home. You know, you may be amazed as to what your house may be worth. You literally could be able to move and buy another home and your payment, without your payments going up, if that's something you'd be interested in. But watch this, gang. I want you to tell everybody this. But the other reason why we're really big, Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, on people getting an updated market analysis on their property, is because it's just like a physical. You know, you should have a physical once a year. You go to your doctor and they check everything, make sure everything's copacetic. You should do the same thing with your house. Your house is one of your most important assets. And to get an in-depth look at the value and what other properties have sold for, what neighbors have paid for their home, all of that, to get a sense of your neighborhood and your home, you should have that done once a year. So that's why we offer that to our clients. And which is number 2 is the same thing, a different way of saying it. Now, one of the other things, I can give you a little more bonus material, but I hope we get through all this content here. I'm giving all this extra stuff, so I'm going to go fast. I'm sorry, gang. Hold on. Here we go. Past clients, when you make the calls, you may want to do a smile stop. What's a smile stop? Well, we use the acronym for word SMILE to represent. S stands for service. You're focusing on them. You're not selling. M, you're going to meet face-to-face with a smile stop. You're going to I, invite them to talk. So when you go face-to-face, you want to focus more on them versus you. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, communicate in that proportion. Listen twice the amount of speaking that you do. Then the L stands for leave behind the token of appreciation. And of course, E, elevate the relationship, meaning you can follow up after the smile stop. So for example, power agents, this screenshot here, there is a plethora of ideas of little smile stops. We have one for every month. This gives you a slew of ideas based on holidays, the whole 9 yards. Let me just show you one of our power agents, Mary. She did around Easter time. She got those little those the little marshmallows that they're healthy. With a little card on there saying, do you have any peeps with real estate needs? I can help. Call, text me, or email me anytime. I love that. Larry Gardner, I think he's the king of smile stops, one of our power agents. And one of the things he dropped on one time in my house was an ice cream scooper. And he says, we got the scoop on the real estate market. And it's cute. And then so we've got one for if you had just one idea for the month, we created this flyer. Let me show you what's coming up here. October, a pumpkin carving kit with a note saying, let's carve out some time to talk about real estate, or November, Thanksgiving. Any way you slice it, you're appreciated. Happy Thanksgiving my favorite is this one for Christmas, December wrapping paper. Thank you for helping me wrap up a great year. Happy holidays, yada, yada. Okay. Number 4, new listings. New listing comes on the market, hit the phones, make these calls that go like this. Hey, may I speak with Mrs. Jones? Hi, this is Darryl Davis of Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling is a new house just came up for sale in the neighborhood. And because of that, we're expecting to get a lot of buyers who want to buy in this neighborhood and not enough houses to serve everybody. So I was wondering if you've heard of any other neighbors who are thinking about possibly selling their home. You always want to ask, now, do you want to sell? Have you heard of a neighbor? Because it's less intrusive. It's less in their face calling somebody up. Hey, you want to sell your house? It's a little too much. Yes, they give you info. They say, no, we haven't heard anybody. So you say, well, let me ask you, have you folks ever thought about selling? Then you might ask that. And then you can also say some other things like this. Do you mind me asking, what do you think is the nicest features about the area? How long have you lived in the neighborhood? If you were going to move, where would you move to? By the way, one of the things we're offering neighbors is free market analysis. So you're going to see that step 5, unless the physical are expired, where you always offer an updated market analysis, because it's just like a physical. You should have it done once a year. Very important thing. Let's talk about the FSBO scripts. I see somebody wrote something about FSBOs. Now, let me just say something about the FSBOs. One of our power agents from New York, Howard Hanna Real Estate, Carmen, she used the dialogue I'm about to show you. And she said she listed 5 FSBOs in 1 week. So I'm telling you, this is magic dialogue. So let's talk about it. Before I do, let me address this. Can you call FSBOs and expireds on the do not call list? Now, before I give you my answer, I need to do a disclaimer, because I learned something a long time ago. It's a Latin phrase called anus protectus. It's Latin. Now, here's the legal disclaimer. You got to do whatever your broker says to do. It goes from God, Department of Licensing, your broker, then you, okay? Now, you'll notice what's not in there is our association. Now, I love NAR. I love our local. I love my board. I love my state and all that. I do. And but they are political organizations. They don't manage your license, and they give out bad information in this regard. Like in New York, they say, oh, you can't call people. It's a state of emergency. It's not true at all. It doesn't apply. And here's why, even though the bad information. When somebody is on the do not call list, the do not call list law says you can't call somebody and solicit business when they're on the do not call. A FSBO is different. Why? Because it is not an unsolicited call. The for sale by owner is advertising their number. They're advertising, I'm selling, call me. They are soliciting. It is the opposite of unsoliciting. Therefore, you absolutely can call every FSBO that is on the do not call list. Expired also applies because the do not call list says that you can't call somebody unless you have a prior relationship that goes about 18 months through the MLS system, and you being a sub-agent, when an agent puts a house on MLS, and because you're part of the same organization, the homeowner is aware that they're giving notice to all agents. Yes, I'll work with you. Come show. So there's an indirect relationship there, so that also makes it okay. Last thing is, I've never heard any FSBO or expired suing an agent for calling him who was on the do not call list. So don't worry about it. Okay, if your broker says not, don't. Your broker supersedes what I just said. Okay, now, FSBO dialogue. Here's the magic dialogue that will make you a ton of money. Hi, I'm calling about the house for sale. Yes, is the house still available? Yes, it is. Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Reason why you want to do that is you want to get it out of the way. If you call up and say like this, hi, this is Darryl from Power Realty, they're going to say, our house is already sold. Click. Because FSBOs have their own training course, people don't know this was created in the 19th century by a Frenchman. His name was Jacques FSBO, and Jacques teaches the FSBO. If you want to get rid of an agent, when they call you, tell them the house is already sold. So power agents, because they do what I tell them to do, they go like this and say, hi, I'm calling about the house for sale. Yes, is the house still available? Well, yes, it is. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. What do you want? It's funny. Now you trick them and they get a little angry at the beginning, but it's fine. We're going to get through it. Well, the reason why I was calling is I noticed your ad, and I was wondering, are you working with brokers that sell your property? Now, they may say no, or they may say yes, whatever they say. Here's what I want you to do. If they say yes, you want to clarify, is it currently listed? If they say no, so you are trying to do it on your own, yes, we are. If they are nasty, yes, we are. Didn't you see our ad said no agent? That's why we're doing this. We don't trust you agents. Well, let me ask you something. Is that because you want to save the commission? Yes, it is. I can do this myself. I sold things before. You guys charge too much. Oh, okay. Well, now just whatever they say, don't address it. Go right to this. Well, I'm looking at a copy of the ad, and the house sounds lovely. Did you write this yourself? Yes, I did. Yes, I'm also a great writer. Oh, good. Now, what I want you to do is proceed with questions. What's going to happen, gang, most of the time is they're going to start just getting wrapped up in talking to you at this point when you do the questions this way. There's two sets of questions. There's the questions that are about the house, and then there's the questions about why they're selling. You may not always get to why they're selling, but you'll definitely get to asking questions about the house. Now, if you get them to asking questions about the house, they're going to answer you like a buyer because they train themselves like buyer questions. So, for example, ask them about bedrooms, baths, any major improvements, what's the property size. I want you to like make believe like you're a buyer. What would a buyer, if you're looking at that ad, what would a buyer ask about it? And I want you to pretend that you're like a buyer, not really pretend in your mind. So you ask buyer type questions because the homeowner's used to that dialogue because of other buyers who've called. So now as they're answering the questions, what's really funny, what will start to happen, listen to me, is they almost forget they're talking to an agent, that they're talking to a buyer, and then they start trying to sell you on the house. Oh, well, we did this wonderful, like the kitchen, we really redid, like there are some kitchens, but our kitchen, we did our best because we did the Honda, and I did it myself. And when they start trying to sell you on their house, you're going to get that appointment. Now, if you felt like you built rapport, remember what I said, your commitment is to not get the appointment, but to build rapport. The appointment will happen by itself. If you're really good, then you can up the ante and start asking the next set of questions, which is about their commitment. So I'm just curious, John, where are you planning on moving to? And why there? Why do you like this about that area? And so you just start talking about their commitment. The reason why that's important is because if you can do that, and you can't always on a physical call, but if you get to that point, it's going to be a better appointment for you because now you're accessing and getting clear about their commitment. You see, people don't just sell a house. They're committed to their next level. They're selling for a purpose. And when you're clear about what their next level is in life, you could be a better coach because that's what coaches do. Coaches people to get to their next level. And that's what you are as a real estate agent. You're really a real estate coach and you're licensed to manage the real estate piece, but your job is to get them to their next level. So if you can start to ask that on the phone, that's even better. And then you want to just schedule the appointment. When you feel that there's an opening, then you're going to say, would you be offended if I just stopped by to look at your house? I'm going to tell you that right there. Would you be offended? There's something magical in that. Would you be offended? In New York, it doesn't always work because they're like, yes, I'm still offended talking to you. But other than that, or Jersey, usually when you say, hey, let me ask you, would you be offended if I just stopped by to see your house? No, I wouldn't be offended. You can come by. And then there's other ways to ask for the appointment. So let's just go on. Now, if you've got voicemail, here's the dialogue for that. They'll call you back 50% of the time. Hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. The reason why I was calling is I know you're selling your house and I have some important information about that. As a matter of fact, I could possibly have somebody who might be interested. I'm not too sure because I need to get some information from you first. Could you please call me back at your earliest convenience? Well, that's just a great voicemail. Why? Because that's tantalizing. It's teasing in there. Well, what important information? Who is this guy? All right. If they call you back, which half of the time they will, you will get that appointment because they know they're calling an agent. So it'll be so much easier. People always ask me, Darryl, should I leave a voicemail? Yes, because if you don't, here's what I guarantee you. You ain't getting an appointment. If you leave a message, you got a 50-50 shot that you will. So always leave an appointment. Now, RedX, we are huge. I see somebody asking about RedX. And RedX, we love this company. We push it. Power Agents, you get a huge discount, which I'll show you in a minute. This is what the portal looks like. They find the physicals, they find expireds, pre-foreclosure, all that, and they put it into a dashboard for you. When you click on it, you have all access about that house, about how many bedrooms, baths, ad about the property, And then there's an auto dialer, our Power Agent video at the beginning of the call. This is what she was talking about in the RedX system, where it just dials the list for you. And as soon as somebody picks up, you start talking to them. So you don't have to sit there. Now listen, that costs $100 a month, that one thing, but it is so valuable. Okay. Now, Power Agents, you have a link to this site. If you can't get to the link, you just go to darrylspecial.com. I don't even think you need the promo code. Just go into the site. You'll be able to waive the setup fee and you pay $0 for 30 days. It's a great deal for the Power Agents. Okay. Number 6, Arnold, is that nationwide? Yes, Arnold Jackson, it is nationwide, Red X in the United States. I don't know if they do Canada, though. I'll be honest with you.
I don't think they do.
They don't do Canada. All right.
It does include NYC, though.
It does include, does it include NYC? Yes, it does. Okay, good. All the questions about Red X. Let's continue. Now, old FSBOs, by the way, I'm not talking about senior citizens. These are people that tried selling years ago. No, Melanie, hang on a second. Melanie, it's not a robocall. A robocall is an automated voicemail. No, what this does, Melanie, is the computer calls several people, and as soon as somebody says hello, then it transfers, and then you talk. So it's not a robocall. Hi, I'm calling you about the house for sale. Is it still available? So it's not the same. It's a robocall is a pre-recorded message. That's not what this is. Okay. Old FSBOs. Hey, may I speak with the owner at 1010 Hana? Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling is the record show you tried selling your house 6 months ago. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Well, the reason why I ask is because a lot of homes were listed in the area around that same time and that did sell. I was wondering, are you folks thinking about selling again? Were you thinking of moving to, etc.? So, gang, here's what I'm going to tell you. There's old FSBOs that were trying to sell. Maybe they were overpriced at the time or whatever, and they took the house off the market, and they are sitting in their dining room table right now as this webinar is happening, or they're sitting at home, I should say, because it's the middle of the day. I said dining room table like they're eating in the middle. Well, maybe they're having lunch, but they're home talking about, honey, maybe we should put our house back on the market now that the summer's over and we want to move next year. Maybe we should talk to an agent. So nobody's calling these people because they're just in the talking stage, but you've got their phone number because they're an old FSBO. So you should call them and try and bring and get a little information and ask them, about the possibility of selling their house. Okay. Power agents, I want to just tell you something because I threw a lot at you so far and I still have a lot more to teach you in a remaining time. I want to remind all the power agents, because I see all these questions that are coming up on the stream. When you start making your calls after today's webinar, listen to me, power agents. After today's webinar, you start making your calls. Don't forget, every Monday at 11 a.m., you have a special phone number you have access to where it's live. And I can coach you. It's group coaching. You can ask me a question. Those calls go for a couple of hours. You can come in at any time and ask me, Darryl, I called the FSBO. Here's what they said. What should I have said? And I record the answer and coach you. So every Monday will be your skill building on mastering everything that we're covering today. Hey, can I ask this? Everybody, tell me how you're doing because we got like 12 minutes left. I'm going to continue, but are you learning anything? Have you learned anything so far? Do me a favor. Just throw it in the chat there. Tell me what's the favorite thing that you learned thus far, because I read these after the webinar and it helps me get better in coaching and training. Plus, we all want to know. So let us know what do you like. Number 7, expired listings. Now, let me go through the expired dialogue. This is a lot easier. And the reason why this is a lot easier is because expireds, we know they want to sell. They made a commitment to an agent. That's the other thing about FSBOs. We know they want to sell too. But with the expired, they already saw the value in realtors. So they're a little bit easier to call. And so for some agents that are super afraid of their for sale by owner, I say, you know what? Start with expireds then. Get your feet wet. Hi, may I speak with Miss Jones? Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling is I noticed your house expired off the MLS. I was wondering, is that house still for sale? Now, if they say yes, ask them, did you put it back on MLS? If they say no, it is not for sale, ask them, did they sell it? After they tell you what they tell you, like if they already relisted, forget about it, right? You go on. But if they didn't relist, whether they said they're selling or not, you're going to say, well, I'm looking at a copy of the listing. I'm a little surprised it didn't sell. Why do you think it was? It's likely you're going to hear a lot of answers. Your job is to bring them back to their original excitement, enthusiasm, and commitment to what they wanted to do, why they were selling in the first place. So your first part of this is letting them unload, why they think it didn't sell. But the rest of your commitment in this conversation is to try and bring life back to maybe why they were thinking about selling in the first place. And then you can end the call with, let me say, Mr. Jones, I understand that this was probably frustrating for you, but let me ask you this. if I had a buyer who's willing to pay you the price that you needed to make the move a success, and you can still get you to Florida in the time frame that you want with the monies that you needed, is that something that you would consider? So that is a great question to say to somebody hypothetically, right? I'm not saying I want to list your property. I'm not saying you should sell, but originally when you tried selling 6 months ago, you wanted to move to Florida. If I could get you the money that you wanted, that you need to make the move a success, get you down to Florida, would you consider selling it? And then they'll say, well, maybe. Anyway, so that's how you do that. Expired voice mail dialogue. Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. The reason why I was calling is I noticed that your house had expired on the MLS, and I have some important information about that. I might even have somebody who could be interested. I'm not too sure because I need that important. It's very similar to the FSBO. You'll notice that the FSBO and the expired voicemail message is very ambiguous. I didn't say I have somebody that wants to buy your house. I possibly could, because you're always working with buyers, correct? In all different price ranges. So that is an honest, ambiguous thing to say, which is what you want because you want to get them to call you back. Power agents, what I'm going to tell you is in the classroom of the site under prospecting, you're going to see a bunch of letters that you can send out to expireds and FSBOs. Now, I know this webinar is about using the phone. I just want to make power agents aware of, if you wanted to do a combination of calls and of mailings or do follow-up, it's there for you. Like one of the expired flyer letters, like you just do a mass mailing to all the expireds saying, hey, if your house expired, let me help. So that's one of the flyers we wrote for you. Power agents, all of these flyers, you can customize and edit these and put your contact. That's what we did for you. So there's a lot of great content there for you. This is a great one to show people why you should be working with a realtor, because 91% of home sellers work with a real estate agent to sell their house. These are great for FSBOs. FSBOs typically sell for 26% less. Anyway, it's a great one. Oh, and here's another thing, because the power agents, I wanted to point this out. So especially new power agents, we created this. This goes on a listing appointment, but I'll show you the mailing in a second. That shows a homeowner selling a house is a lot more than just finding the buyer. Most homeowners just look at taking photos, launching a listing, showing it, those squares that I just circled in red. But what we do as real estate agents is a whole other things than just those. Like we got to go around the whole board of selling a house. There's so much more to this process than just advertising and finding a buyer to show a house to. You got to negotiate, qualify, do the inspections, the bank. This way you have to be licensed by the state, Mr. and Mrs. Hunter, to help other people do this. So there must be more to the game of real estate than just showing a house. And a lot of homeowners don't realize that, because you don't until you go through the hours of education and licensing that I go through. Anyway, this is the Sellopoly, but we created a postcard. We loved it. The power agents love this postcard that you send out to. You can do it to your farm area. You can send it to just FSBOs, expireds, and it communicates that message that there's so much that we do to help people. So anyway, just love that. Number 8 is calling your farm area dialogue. So let's look at calling the farm area dialogue. Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Fine. I hope I haven't interrupted you. The reason why I was calling is to let you know that I've been sending you some information about the market to keep you informed about what's going on in the neighborhood. Have you been getting that? And they'll say whatever they say. And then what you want to do, gang, is offer either something of value like a free report of some kind. Power agents, there's a ton of free reports for you. Or you can, and I'll show you, power agents, where that is. If you go to farming and or prospecting, you're going to find all of these reports that you can actually print out with your contact information on and use it as a mailing piece or a stop by. One of the favorite ones that power agents are loving is this seller's guide that has over 43 pages that goes through an incredible amount of stuff for a homeowner. If you're thinking about selling your house, this is what you should know. This is what you should be prepared for. Here's some tips and ideas. But the whole time, it's really validating working with you as the real estate agent, because at the bottom of every page, you put your contact information and you take credit like you wrote this guide. So that's how we put this together for you. So offering a free report like a seller's guide. The other one is offering a free over-the-phone market analysis or an updated CMA. The free market analysis over the phone basically says to a homeowner, listen, if you don't want to sit through or me coming over and showing you this, I can give you a ballpark idea over the phone what your house is worth. Number 9, door knock in your farm area. Let's look at that dialogue really quick. Hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? I hope I haven't interrupted you. The reason why I'm stopped by is to let you know I've been sending you some information about the market to keep you informed. Have you been getting that? Yes. Okay, great. And, I also want to introduce myself. Here's a little gift for you. So you drop off something of value, like the seller's guide that I just showed you. Now, that's 43 pages, so you'll be using up a lot of reams of paper on that one. But there's other things. There's a little package you can put together. If there's anything I can ever do for you or your family in regards to real estate, my number is on the bottom. So that's, you're just knocking doors to the farm, introducing shit, pressing flesh. Here's a little gift. Now, by the way, I'm also offering folks in the neighborhood a neighborhood market report. It's a report that offers 2 things. First, it shows you how much your neighbors paid for their home. And second, based on that information, it gives you a value range of what your property is worth. We believe it's really important that because your home is usually one of your most important assets for your family, that not just like your stock portfolio, that periodically you should have an update on the value of your assets. So is that something you'd be interested in? I'd be happy to do that for you. Anyway, so that's the door knocking dialogue. Last one, vacant property dialogue, and then I'm going to give you some bonus stuff in our 4 minutes. Any vacant properties, you call, you say, hi, I'm calling about the property at so-and-so. Yeah, hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. The reason why I was calling to see the house has been sitting empty for a while, and I was wondering if I had someone who wanted to buy your house for a nice profit, would you consider selling it? Very simple. Build a relationship, report questions about the bedrooms and baths and about the house, and what time would you like together? That's a very easy call like that. One of the things you can also do to do a follow-up to the calls is you can mail them some information if it's a vacant property. Here's a flyer, Power Agents, we created for you on the top areas to improve on a property that gives you the highest rate of return, repairs to consider before selling your house. Again, Power Agents, these are easy to customize because we created them in PowerPoint for you. If you just go to the prospecting, you will find all of that stuff that we just showed you. And also, gang, Power Agents, all the dialogue that we went over today is in the prospecting. Here's the bonus material, and then we're going to open up to questions. One of the things that we did, I don't want anybody to get twisted. Oh, you can't talk bad about Zillow. I'm not talking bad about Zillow, the broker. I'm talking about Zillow, the media company, because you see, people don't realize there's Zillow, the brokerage, which is called Zillow Homes. We're not talking about Zillow Homes. We're talking about Zillow Group, which is their marketing company, that we pay money to. Some of you, well, you shouldn't be, but you do premium agent to advertise you. That's the advertising arm. Anyway, even the CEO of Zillow thinks you should ask a real estate agent what your house is worth if you're thinking of selling your home. Let me show you this. Watch this. Here's the back of the card. In a prominent Market Watch article, let me zoom in on that. Spencer Rathkoff, the former CEO of Zillow, said, we call it a Zestimate and not a Z appraisal and not a Z price. It's meant to be a starting point. To really determine more accurate opinion of your home's value, you should hire a real estate agent. Zestimates is merely a successful marketing tool to catch people's attention, but you should not rely on it to determine the value of your home. Come on, man, that's powerful. We should all, listen, as an industry, we should all be getting that word out about Zestimates because people are making poor decisions based on that. Buyers, banks, title companies, etc., do not use estimates. They don't even use estimates. What they do is use specific data and a formal appraisal to determine the value of a home. As a licensed agent of the state, I have access to that data. I'm happy to share it with you in my neighborhood market report. That's a powerful postcard, man. Here's some other bonus information. Hanging up a sign to tell people, leave me alone. I'm prospecting. I'm making it rain. I'm planting seeds. When you're going to hit the phones, tell people, leave me alone. I got stuff I'm doing over here, okay? And let's see what else we got. Okay, now with that said, we have something I want to share with everybody, the guests anyway. By the way, Power Agents, I want you to tell me what were you liking about the webinar. I want to give something, a gift for the guests. I see a lot of questions. If you're a guest, I'm going to encourage you to check out the Power Program for the $5. Here's why, because you're going to get a huge gift right now. So hang in there with me. I'm going to do this in 2 minutes. You're going to have complete access to the Power Program website. Bonuses today is what I want to show you, and you get to keep them. You're not going to believe what they are. You're going to say, wow, it is worth it. So hang on now. I'm going to show you this. It'll take me 2 minutes. First of all, The Power Program, just to give you an overview on it, we do coaching calls every Monday. They go about 2 hours. We call them Power Hours, but they're not. They're Power Hours now because we have so many power agents. Deborah, one of our power agents, said, I love the Monday morning message. That's my motivational wake-up call at 6 a.m. to start my week right. Big thank you for being the wind beneath my sails. I love that. Thank you so much for that, Deborah. All of our webinars are recorded, so that way power agents can go back and watch them on demand. So we have, since the pandemic last year, we've been doing this every week. So think, how many weeks is that? It's been a year and a half now, 18 months times 4. There's a lot of training here for you that you always have access to. There's a closed Facebook group. I think it's the best one in the industry because there's no negativity. There's no it's all good content, support, encouragement. It's like a family. We have the Power Agent website. Just to give you a little taste of what that looks like, when you go to the word classroom, that's where the magic is. Click on classroom, and then you will see everything's alphabetical. And if you needed help with, let's say, buyers, you need help with I'm looking at farming and self-promotion or listing appointment, you click on it. So for example, if you click on farming, you're literally going to see hundreds. This is just part of it. Hundreds of forms, flyers, checklists. And if it's something you mail out to civilians, as I call them, you can customize that with your contact information. There's a little favorite feature because there is so much content. The whole site has over 600 pieces. So you can tag something and it goes into a favorite section of your account. We use similar technologies, Google search, right? So if you type in the word FSBO, everything that's FSBO related, whether it's an infographic, dialogue, training, video, whatever, social media graphic, it'll show up in that search. You'll remember I said search for Power Agent, search for guide to find the trunk or treat guide. That's how it is. Now here's the bonuses. Guess. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. So if you wanted to kick the tires for the whole month for the $5, what we're going to email you right away is a 1-hour listing appointment. It's a PowerPoint. It's 103 slides that you can actually customize. It's a PowerPoint. So you can do whatever you want with it. You drop your photo, your contact information. Plus, there is a training program on how to deliver a listing appointment to a homeowner. And I focus on for sale by owners because they're the hardest. If you can list a FSBO, you can list anything. There's also a guide that you can get to give to your buyers or to sellers in a multiple offer situation. This guide really helps buyers and sellers meet their expectations about, or set their expectations about the process of multiple offer situation. If you're a new agent or an experienced agent and you want to restart your business or start your business, there's a 29-page little book that we have. Here's what a new agent or experienced agent restarting should focus on in the next 60 days. Along with that, the dialogues that I just did today, you will actually get a printed version of it. There's actually 12, so there's 2 I didn't talk about today. There is how to set up a Facebook business page if you need that. Some of you have got that, which is good. If you don't, we got that for you, along with your business plan that gets you ready for this coming year. It is a 43-page business plan. It is the best in the business that you get to keep. Not the predictions. We did something else. Instead of the predictions, because the year is over, we're swapping that out for an Excel file to help you guys in managing multiple offers. In addition, you're going to get a copy of these slides. You're going to get a copy of this recording. And if you need a CRM, you don't have one, you'll have access to that as well for free for 30 days. Everything on this page is worth almost $1,900, but you get it for $5. With that said, I hope you decide, yes, to become Power Agent, to get to know us better. If you got anything of value during this was just 1 hour. Just imagine 30 days with us. Now, with that said, there's a lot of questions. And by the way, if you're a Power Agent, if you wouldn't mind making a difference with the non-Power Agents, letting them know, has the program helped you? What do you like best about it? There's plenty of room to chat and to write things. So please, Power Agents, let the non-Power Agents, the guests, know what you like best about the program. Plus, we like to do that. It's a bit of a survey as well. So when you tell us in the chat what you like best, we read that as well, and it helps us. All right, we're going to answer questions, Julie. So what questions do we have? Coaching questions. You have a question about what I taught, question about real estate, question about the program, whatever it is, we're going to stay and answer them all now. Go ahead, Jules.
Awesome. Great job. That was a lot in today's webinar.
I had some extra material. I'm surprised I was able to still get through it all.
Obviously had some extra caffeine too. I like it.
Yes.
Crystal asks, what if they don't ask me about me? How do I get the dialogue started? If you
Then don't. If they don't ask about you, Crystal, it's because you didn't talk about them enough or didn't ask the right questions. Now, Crystal, listen to me. Remember what I said a moment ago, and that is the telephone, part of it is mastering language. And so if you have a phone conversation and they don't ask about you and you get off the call, you should reflect for a moment and say, what other questions should I have asked that would have been more about them, that would have elicited them to want? It's just human nature. It's like when somebody smiles at you, you smile back. It's instinctively. Actually, there was a study done on smiling that people have to consciously make a choice to not smile. It's in our DNA to actually respond in kind. And so if they don't respond in kind, then there must be something that in the questions that was lacking to not have them ask about you. Next question, Julie.
I have to say in the comments, Darryl, hands down, the comments from our guest today was about making it about the other person, building those relationships, building that rapport, not making it about you. We had so many people say that that's really what came out of today, the aha moment for them.
Yeah, so awesome. So awesome. And if for power agents, like we'll talk more about that. I'm going to tell you, power agents, that part about focusing on them, not on you, that is part of the culture. I mean, if you look, can you see that, Julie? I can't see can you see the don't sell people, serve people? Do you see that?
I do.
Yeah, this is our culture here at Power Headquarters. We don't teach people to be better salespeople. We teach people how to serve people better, how to communicate better, how to coach better. That's who we are here. So it's a different than some of my colleagues teach. And the thing about the Monday coaching calls is it's like another dose of that way of thinking. So eventually what will happen is if you're on those calls every Monday and you hear that same message, it'll start to get in your DNA and you'll have a breakthrough in calls because eventually it'll be with you all the time. Okay, next question.
Marianne says, new listing dialogue. What do we say when they ask us if that is our listing and we don't have any listings right now? I would love to use the dialogue.
I'm sorry. Give me that first part again. I didn't understand.
What do you say when they ask if you're doing?
Oh, it's a new listing, but it's not yours. Oh, right. Okay, great. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, that dialogue was really great. So, and by the way, all the guests, you're going to get a copy of all this dialogue, my slides. So that
power agents get the slides.
The guests, right? I'm sorry, guests, you'll get a copy of the slides if you become a power agent today. So we'll email you just the slides in addition to everything else to make it easy for you. But power agents, I want to show power agents something, Julie. So I know that's, if I go to Classroom, give me a second, because I'm going to answer that question. You go to prospecting and everything's alphabetical. So where's the P? There we go. Prospecting, it's a little phone. And then when I go to prospecting, it's going to be dialogue. So when I go to dialogue, there's all the dialogues. Okay, now, which is what I taught. That new listing in the area, you don't have to call if it's just your listing. It's a new listing in the area, period. It doesn't matter who listed it. So when another agent company lists a property, you can call saying, hey, Mr. and Miss, the reason why I'm calling, a new house came up for sale in your marketplace. And because that we are expecting a lot of buyers that are going to want to buy, but not enough houses. That's it. So you can totally use that listing. Next question, Julie, that dialogue with me. Go ahead.
Listen says, how can I attract new clients out of my circle? What's your best advice?
Say it again slower.
How do I attract new clients that are outside of my current circle? What is your best advice?
Do any of the plethora of things we just said today. So
pick one of these and pick one of these avenues or two or three.
Call FSBOs, call expireds, call past FSBOs, past expireds, houses for rent. Next question.
Neil asks, when the FSBO or expired calls you back, what is the most important information for you to share?
Oh, you know what? I haven't gotten that question in a long while. I'm really glad that that somebody was paying attention. So what's his name?
Neil.
Neil, great job for picking up on that. So Neil, you have to trust me on this one. They never ask you what's the important information. They never ask. I don't know why. But they never ask. They'll start off the call like, yeah, you called me about my house. Now, if by Neil, if it does happen, you would be the exception if they say what important information. Well, the important information is that I have a marketing program that helps homeowners such as yourself to help get your house sold in today's great market for the highest possible price with the least amount of aggravation. So that's one of the things that I have as a program. That if you to see if you'd be interested to know more about that, if you are serious about selling, I can most certainly help you get it sold and have my commission pay for it at the same time. So kind of working for free almost. Anyway, something like that. Next question, Julie.
I love it. Heather says, where do I find ideas for the leave behinds when we go door knocking?
Oh, okay. So, let me show. There's two ways to do it. Let me show you this way: farming and self promotion. Look, don't you love that image? I love that image because you're farming. You're planting seeds. What do you do?
Or gardening, as
Mary calls it gardening. I love that even better. So, there's the Zillow estimate advertiser. That's something else. So I didn't even get in today. It's like how to deal with, Zillow says my house is worth more. But what was the question? What am I looking for? Smile stops.
Well, no, yeah. And where do you find the leave behinds? So the leave behinds, farming is the best tab in the classroom to find the leave behinds.
Yeah. So the leave behind, which we call our smile stops, they remember what I said, the site is alphabetical, right? So when you go to farming and you go down to S's for smile stops, you will see smile stops for January, for February, March, April, bop, 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 bop. Now, by the way, something else is we've converted a lot of our content also into Spanish for people that needed Spanish versions. So we're still doing that, although we've done at least 400 pieces, I think, in Spanish at this point. Now, this one here, smile stops for every season. What I showed you was this one, which was just one idea per month. Not that you should do one a month because that would be costly, but you pick you should do smile stops maybe 3 times a year, maybe 4 at maximum. There's one just for December, but here's the other way to find it. I'm going to go all the way to the top, and then I'm going to go to the next question. If I just type in the word smile, if smile is in the name of the file, it's going to pop up in this search. So there you go. There's smile stops for every season. Inspirational, make you smile. So there's other smile things, but if I keep clicking, I can keep finding more that has the word smile in it. Next question, Julie.
Are there flyers and information for buyers reps?
Yes, there is a whole section for buyers. So if you click on buyers, and there's some really awesome stuff in here because let me tell you, when people have children that are moving, we have some content for children. And the reason why, we have our own foundation called America's Hope for America's Children. Listen, I'm not going to get into this. I did not have a good childhood at all. I'll just say this one thing. I was living on my own in an apartment at 14 as an emancipated minor. So that could tell you a lot right there. So we're done. My point is, because of my childhood, I have a soft spot for children who go through challenges. So one of the things I've learned through science is that children in a move, it's very traumatic for them. And even at the youngest age, they're surprised that may not be able to articulate the emotion, but it is scary. So we created some guides to help children to make it more of a game. So there's a checklist for them, and there's an e-guide somewhere. There's also a flyer that talks about how valuable living a home is versus a rental. And so anyway, there's a lot of buyer content here for you as well. So next question.
Thank you. When the expireds are from the same office and the owner has had a bad taste in his mouth with an agent that reflects on the company, how do you overcome that?
Well, it's kind of, first of all, one of the things that power agents learn is how to use stories, metaphors, and analogies to handle objections or how to present a listing appointment, etc. So you always want to think, what would be a good analogy for that? So what immediately came to my head just this second, making it up, I've never used that before, is, well, Mr. Miss Hannah, have you ever gone on a flight? I know it's been a long time, but if you can remember ever going to on a flight and you just got really bad service from a flight attendant. Now you may want to blame the whole company, But really, it wasn't the company, it was that one person. And you're not going to discount the entire airplane company because of that one person. And it's the same as true in real estate. In every office, you're going to have a lot of quote unquote flight attendants, and some are really good at their job and some aren't. Now, it's fortunate. I like to think I'm one of the good ones, and I can really help you get to your next destination if given the chance. Something like that. I just made that one up.
Oh, that's good. That's new. I like it.
Yeah,
The flight attendant analogy.
that's right.
I like it. Hadar asks, where do power agents find the how to deliver the presentation?
Okay. So if that's my special Hadar, it must be. How many Hadars do we have? Shout out to Hadar. Love you, darling. Keep smiling. If you go to listing appointment, Hadar. So when you go to listing
and everybody else.
and everybody else that's listening, it's going to be in here. So I'm not sure. So there's flyer. So we're going to go past flyer. We know it's not a flyer. And there's the iBuyer presentation. Any of you dealing with iBuyers, that is incredible. Like there's a whole training on iBuyers using the iBuyers websites. I took screenshots of their website and I used that as the objection handler to show a homeowner why they should run away from an iBuyer using the iBuyers website. It's really cool. Okay. So if I continue, Julie, maybe, here it is. The video listing conversation presentation, Hadar. So there's the video on how to do it. And the slides, Julie, where might the slides be?
So presentation right there.
Right there. It says presentation, listing conversation slides. So Hadar, it's right there and right there. Video and presentation. Okay.
And by the way, in the buyers section, there is a buyers conversation slides. So there's a presentation for both buyers and sellers that you can totally customize.
Exactly.
What platform do you recommend for collecting client reviews? Do you have any thoughts on Rate My Agent?
I'll be honest with you. I know Rate My Agent, but I don't know how good they are. So I don't have an opinion on that.
If you go to our blog, though, we do have a whole article about getting reviews. So if you want to take a look at that, just go to darrylspeaks.com and look at the blog. Okay. Let's see. Is the coaching every Monday, and what time is it?
Yeah, so the coaching calls are every Monday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. And if you go to Classroom, this is not Classroom. Well, you could do it there, but let's go to Dashboard. So, am I wrong? Wait. Yeah. So when you go to Dashboard, I'm logged in as Sarah. The coaching call tab is right there. It's also in the Classroom. I could have stayed where it was. But this is where you can, by the way, we have a feature where you can open up and have a tool where you can write notes during the coaching calls. So to keep track of all your notes in the site, you can open it up in Word, you can print it out, but it stays associated with your account. So anytime you write, it'll always be in your account for you. Then what we do is we record the calls and then we post it on the site. You'll notice, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, like this says 2 hours and 25 minutes. Like they started out as 1 hour calls and now they've just gotten crazy. So because that's what we do at Power Headquarters, we'll just stay until all questions are answered. We're going to do that with this webinar as well. So, and you can listen to the recording later, because if you can't be on the call and you want to ask me a question, if you click on this red button, it'll email me your question, and then I'll read your question, and then I'll record my answer to you, and then you can listen to it later. Okay.
And for those of you who are more visual, we actually stream it into our Facebook group as well. So if you want to watch it as a video, you can watch it there in the Facebook group as well. And that's kind of cool, because then people are commenting, and it's not a talk at you coaching call like some have. It's really problem solving on the fly. It's celebrating wins.
Let me highlight that, Julie, because that's really awesome about the program. So our coaching call, instead of a phone number, we use Zoom. And the reason why we use them, which, by the way, let me just show you this. When you go to Facebook closed group, if you're in the dashboard, and the dashboard is your major things to click on. Like there's the tutorial, there's registering for the next webinar, which, by the way, let me go through these really quick. But when you go to Facebook group, it'll bring you to the Power Agent Closed group. People will throw questions out to power agents and they'll get coached from it. People looking for other recommendations. But let me go to the recording of the last calls. Oh, no, that's Gail on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we have Gail she works day to day with our power agents. Like if you have a question about something, Gail's your person with the website, and she's looking very serious right now. But what she does is she goes through the website for power agents when they have questions. She'll do like an on-the-fly tutorial for them. But let's find the coaching call. The last coaching call I did, this is it here. So what happens is that I'm doing the call with my mic and the phone and answering it, but we're zooming it at the same time. So that way some power agents can ask their questions in the Zoom chat, and then Julie will ask it for them, and I'll also answer. You see it says 97 comments because people are asking questions, they're commenting, and that's welcoming new people. Now, let's go here. The webinar registration, when you click on that, this is how you register for the weekly webinars. So these are the upcoming ones that we have. This is the one we did today. Tomorrow, we're doing our Power Builder CRM. This is not open up to the public, just for power agents exclusively, how to use the CRM, how to turn one open house into a stream of listings. I forgot we were doing this. This is an incredible training session. I'm very excited about that. This one, the gift of using gifting and referrals. So anyway, these are some of the upcoming webinars. All right. This is the tutorial thing I talked about. I will tell you the Power Agent Directory, we have power agents that are making a ton of money just from referrals. And because what happens when you become power agent, we hope that you update your profile. Like some of these power agents, they didn't put their photos. But what happens if you're looking for somebody in Texas or Colorado, Florida, you can search the area that they work in this search thing here, and you'll find it. So we're finding power agents are doing a lot of referrals. Okay, let me go back to the questions, Julie.
We actually did publish I'm trying to find her name, but she said, make sure that you fill out the directory because you will get referrals. So
yep.
I love it. Darryl, can you speak on best practices on managing and nurturing those people in my database? Seem like I'm always playing catch up.
Yeah, what I would do, so people that are in your database, there's a few things. Number one, if you have like our Power Builder. So Power Builder is the CRM that we give power agents if they need it. That's an extra charge for that of $49 a month. But that's an add-on. That's really the only add-on that we have if an agent needs a CRM. Some agents have CRMs. In our CRM, there's an email newsletter that goes out every month to everybody that you tag in the CRM. So number one, your client should be hearing from you via email once a month at a minimum. You could do more, but once a month. That's number one. Number two, you should do quarterly mailings of some kind. Number three is throw in 1 or 2 smile stops to knock on their doors. Number four is throw in and schedule your phone calls. So let me see something here. Give me a second. I'm going to really answer. This is a good question. I want to see if I can find Julie, what would the name be of that chart that was the quarterly chart? And it might be here.
I think it's that.
Time management, self-promotion.
Did you pass it? The past client marketing calendar, that?
Yep. No, not the past client. Oh, but that is one. Wait, where is it? Do you see it? Oh, yeah, this is not the one. So I should show everybody how to customize. Let me just find the chart.
You got 2 C's there.
I see. Yep. Let me see if I can find it to answer this question really quick. So,
sorry,
no, it's not there. Son of a gun.
Talking about.
It was the self-promotion marketing calendar every quarter. Do you know what I'm talking about now? The quarterly marketing calendar?
I would do calendar maybe instead of chart.
Cal A or E?
Yeah, E. There are also newsletters. We have lots of newsletters in the farming. That's a great way to just once a month touch.
Here it is. So here's to answer your question. This is what I would do. Is I would use something as simple as this for your past clients and say, all right, what am I going to do quarterly for my past clients? Now, this is a marketing calendar that's not just for past clients, but your questions about past clients. And you're getting distracted. So if you had a chart like this, you say, all right, you know what? In the first quarter, this is the one thing or two things I'm going to do for my past clients. Now, if you do a monthly e-newsletter, you'd obviously write that in all 4 quarters. Then you might say, you know what? In the beginning of the year, I'm going to do a smile stop. I want to see them in person. So write that in the first quarter. So that's what I would do, is create your tasks, hang it up. Very simple. Next question, Julie.
And automate it. Like a CRM is going to automate that for you, so you're not playing catch up.
Exactly. Well, yes.
Exactly. Darryl, where do we find the trunk or treat?
Yeah, so that's going to be the best thing to do is to type in the word guide. And it's going to be in farming, but if you type the guide, because there's other guides that are going to blow your mind. So I talked about the seller's guide. That's today I mentioned that, but with the seller's guide, there's also a postcard we wrote for you. There's a social media advertisement for it. There's the easy move guide. There's the actual seller's guide. So there's all these great, but there's where the trunk or treat is. And if I do older posts, I'm going to see more guides come up. So now there's the farming field guide. Then there's the parking lot party guide, which is awesome. The 184 things an agent does to earn their commission. The multiple offers. I'm going to show you this really quick. So, well, I don't know if it's going to be quick. It's going to take a while. So it's downloading, but I want to show you once it's done downloading how you can customize all of the pieces, because everything on the site you can customize. That anything that you would give to a civilian, we have it for you. This is really good, by the way. 12 best ideas to generate listing leads. That guide is pretty awesome as well. There's the 6 steps to double your income guide for you. Anyway, there's a lot of great content here, and I'm just scratching the surface. Next question, Julie, while that's opening.
Will says, with all about them rather than all about the appointment, when do we know it's okay and organic to ask for the appointment? I don't want to get into a pattern of being the nice guy who's always checking in, but not in front of people.
Who asked that question?
Will,
that is brilliant insight. Brilliant insight. So you're right. You can go to airy fairy woo woo. I'm just here to help you. And not do business because you're too much that here. So great question. So here's how you don't be too woo-woo. What is the number one best thing you can do to really help somebody? They hire you, period. Slam dunk. So the ultimate of you serving them is having them hire you. But they're not ready to hear that until you've built some rapport and a relationship. So once you feel, Will, that you have permission to tell them, listen, you need to hire me. However you say that, you'll know it. That's an instinct. I learned I was trying to learn how to, when I was in Hawaii, I tried to learn how to surf. And that didn't go well. But I'll never forget what the guy said. He said, you have to find your own way up on the board. Like there's so much that goes into the physiology of getting up standing on a surfboard, and some of it's just instinctive. Like you can't teach it. Like you gotta get instinctively, it gets developed. So Will, you'll develop. When is the moment that you need to ask that homeowner, would you be offended if I came over to see a house and see what you have and see how I can help you? When you're on the listing appointment, when they say, listen, everything you know about me and how I do my business and for my sellers, do you think it's better that you hire me so I can help you get to your next level in your life? Great. So you'll know when to ask as long as you stay committed to that them hiring you. Okay. Let me show you that e-guide that I hope that helped you, Will. If you're a power agent, we can talk more about on the Monday call. Okay. This is the multiple offer negotiating guide that you give to a buyer or a seller. And I'm going to show you something. Let's say you don't like something that we wrote in this guide. Watch this. Oh, delete it. Oh, you don't like this fact? Here, oh, let me just delete that fact. So sorry, that's my alarm telling me, Darryl, it's 1:30. Okay, so and then if I go to the end of this, you put your contact information, your website, your photo. So all of the content that we have for you guys, you can custom. There's the front of it. You put your logo, you put your face there, and it's so easy to do. I can type here, say this is Darryl. I'm typing my name, Darryl Davis, and continue typing. So everything that we give you, gang, it is super easy to customize it. Super easy. You don't have to learn another software is my point. Next question, Julie.
Well, and on that multiple offer, we also have a spreadsheet that you can use, which is awesome on a listing appointment and awesome just for your business in general.
Yes, let me see if I can find that really quick. Offer. But people are going to get that when they sign up today. Here's the multiple offer tracker spreadsheet. So when you open this is an Excel spreadsheet that you punch in the details of all the offers to show your homeowner. And we have a video that goes through explaining how this chart works. Okay. Next question.
You just passed the farm calculator. Marianne asked, if we don't have a farm area currently, but we've identified which one we want to start with, is it okay to start with the trunk or treat event to introduce yourself to the neighborhood?
Sure, absolutely. Let me tell you why I think the answer is absolutely yes on that is because that is such an awesome event that it don't matter that they know who you are or da da da. I think it's a great way to launch your relationship into the farm area. Any parent that you tell them you're doing this and you follow the guide that we have, they're gonna love it, man. This is gonna be fun. It's COVID friendly. It's outdoors. The other neighbors and the other kids get to see each other. It's like a controlled play date outside of the community kids. Man, oh man, and you're sponsoring it. And if you want to get a mortgage broker, lender to get involved and throw some money at it as well and help. And what I would do is it's in the guide, but I would also call everybody in the farm area or call as many people as you can to introduce yourself. They got kids. If you can buy lists, by the way, of a neighborhood that says, I just want the list of all the people that live in the neighborhood that has children. Like that data is out there that you can buy. Cold Directory, we have a relationship with them, and you can download that list as well. And of course, you promote it on social media in the closed group. Every community has a Facebook group that community participates in, and you can announce it there as well. Man, oh man, I can't wait for it. Listen, we have really successful power agents. Like Lab Coat CEO Tristan and those guys that do this, and it's one of the best things they love to do. Next question.
But this is a great week to get started on that. You don't want to wait and to plan it. So get into the system and get the trunk or treat guide now, because there's a lot to putting these events together.
Exactly, and that's why I wanted to cover it today, because I didn't want people to wait. So okay, what else we got, Julie?
Abel says, I would like Darryl's take on a buyer's agent asking a seller's agent, what does your client want when making an offer?
What is the take for who?
If you're a buyer's agent, should you ask the seller's agent, what does your client want when you're making an offer?
Totally. If you are a buyer's agent, you should totally ask the listing agent that question. I would, the listing agent might not tell you, but you should ask. You just say, hey, listen, I want to put these buyers really want to buy this house. Can you give me kind of a sense of where you think the happy place is going to be for your sellers? What is it that they need? What is it that they want? Obviously they want the full price, but it'll help me out. I really want to put this deal together. So it depends on how you ask it, and there's no written script, because how you ask it, there's something I learned about sales, and it's this expression. Listen to me. What you say and how you say it depends on three things: your style, the other person you're talking to, their attitude of who they are, and what was said before you asked that question. So it's really there's no script. You have to communicate to another human being and be sensitive to how they're going to hear the question.
It's a dance, right?
It's a dance.
Laura says, do you have any ideas for getting an outdated home sold? We just talked about that on the coaching call on Monday.
An outdated listing sold. Yes, there's well, any ideas? There's a lot that I can give you. I will tell you, if you go to, for power agents, if you go to servicing listings in the classroom. So we go to servicing listing. And there is a bunch of ideas to help restart your listings. If you have like, here's one, 8 great ways to jumpstart a stalled listing. So I'll just give you a couple right now. One of them is getting new photos, update the photos, different angles of the photos. But the second thing when you do that is make sure you label your photos. Make sure you label your photos. Because what happens is that when people look at a photo of buyers, they can get confused. And the photos, like, yeah, I get that's a bedroom, but is that bedroom downstairs or upstairs? You know, and sometimes you can have more than one photo of the same bedroom, but you don't really figure it out that it's the same bedroom. Like, you got to really look too hard. So labeling your photos actually creates a visual tour for the buyer. Well, one last thing on that too is always have one of your photos be a blueprint of the floor plan of the home, a blueprint floor plan of the home. Now, we have a vendor that we recommend because they give power agents a great discount, a great deal. It's called boxbrownie.com. So you can go there. They do that, what I just said. And but anyway, next question.
Before you go to Box Brownie, make sure you check out the Tech Tools and Training tab in the classroom, because there's a $40 coupon in there for Box Brownie, so you can really try it before you officially buy it, right? So,
yep, we have one of the things that Julie put together, like, because I'm not a tech guy now, I'm tech savvy, but I wouldn't have thought of this. She started creating a little section of tech video trainings for agents, and Julie's been interviewing. So we had Box Brownie on. This was an awesome one. I'll tell you, I'm going to jump over here. The 5 mistakes you make when writing your property descriptions. Then there's NPR. There's RPR, Realtors Property Resource. We asked a couple of the staff over at NAR, because that's an NAR product, to do a training on that incredible product using Curbio. So anyway, but what's some of the other tech training? How to use Canva 101, how to use PowerPoint, how to create a landing page, how to use Zoom. So we've also done those trainings as well. So anyway, that's
absolutely. If somebody is trying to get restarted, how do they do that as a past power agent?
Oh, okay. Great question. So if you click on this little bubble anywhere on our site, our chat, these are real photos of real human beings. Okay. That's number one. So Julie is right back over here. All right. But that's Sarah. So if you send a message, here's how our chat works. That chat, every team member's computer goes off. Bling. And so everybody reads it, and then they decide who's the best person to handle that question. So for example, if you're a past power agent and you dropped out for whatever reason, and now you want to rejoin, you write that question here saying, hey, I want to rejoin. I'm a past power agent. Who's going to probably respond is Gail. She'll see it, but everybody sees it. So our chat is really good. And one other thing I do want to say is I hate companies that you cannot talk to a human being. I hate those companies. So we are accessible by the phone. And if you go to our site, you'll see our 800 number, or you can just type a question in saying, hey, can I talk to a human being? Here's my cell number, and we'll call you. Okay. So
go all the way to the top of this site, and you'll see on the top left, there's our phone number. It's right there for you to call us anytime.
Now, I'll be honest about the phone number. When you go to that, most likely it's going to go into voicemail of whatever button you press, because they're probably busy doing something else, but they will call you back. Not always, but it might happen. So don't get frustrated if you leave a message. A real person will answer.
We're fielding a lot of calls right now.
Yeah, during these webinars, we always get a ton of calls. So
let's see. Jay says, I know this has beaten me up many times. The FSBO says, get me a buyer and do not bother me. Do you want to list my home period, how would you handle that?
Yeah. Say, so if I had a buyer, Mrs. Hanahana, you'd be, now, by the way, Jay, if you're on the coaching call Monday, I can actually role play with you and you can be the homeowner and be like the jerk, and I'll go back and forth with you. So that we have a disadvantage right now in this webinar. I can, I may not give you everything you need, but I'll try my best. So, bring me a buyer and don't bother me other than that. Okay. So, all right, let me just be clear, Mr. Hanna. If I had a buyer who would be interested in buying your property, you wouldn't mind selling to him? So, yeah. Okay, great. So let me just explain how that works. Now, I'll use the analogy like movie stars, for example. They don't have the time, because you can imagine that, right? They don't have the time to actually go from house to house hunting. They hire an agent to represent them, to be their rep. And that rep does all the legwork, does all the research. And I only use the movie star as an example, but that's even true with even regular buyers. Any buyer that hires me, they're hiring me to do the legwork for them. They don't want me to waste their time in showing them a property that's not going to fit their needs. So part of what I want to do is I want to come see your house, see what you have, see how I can help you, see if it does fit in with one of my buyers. I understand that you don't want to list. I am not coming over to convince you to do anything you don't want to do. But I will say this. You are letting complete strangers into your house, and they say they're buyers. Well, you don't know if they can afford your house if they were free, but you are letting those people in. Well, I'm licensed by the state, so I'm the safest appointment you can give. So if you're going to let those people in, why not let me in so I can see what you have? We can have a conversation, but I'll also pre-screen from everybody. Listen, you got nothing to lose and everything in the game. Just look at me as one of those buyers that you've been letting in. That's all. All right. So can I come over at 6 or would 7 be better? Something like that.
Awesome. Lisa wants to know, where are the previous webinars stored in the site?
Webinars on demand. So when you go to webinars on demand, you will see, now here's what's cool, right? So when you go to webinars on demand, I'm gonna open this in the tab. This was a really good one. Well, so is this. Well, I love them all. But anyway, these are all the webinars on demand. And I just want to show you something about the webinars on demand. How to get your offer accepted in this crazy market. Let me actually go to this one. When you click on it, hey, Sarah, why is that there?
I don't know. I see it. I'll fix it.
Okay. All right. So when you go to, this is happening live. Okay, when you go how to get your offer accepted, that video, that training, there's also the slide. So every webinar, what my slide deck gets part of the training for power agents, they have access to it. Now, there is this one that we did, which we do periodically. We don't do these every month, where we brainstorm with power agents. And this thing was one of the best ones. I don't know if you can see it. It's really small. It's 1 hour and 50. It was a 2-hour brainstorming session. And Julie, what was the how many pages was it originally?
Oh, like 186.
So
we took the transcript, right?
So what Julie did is she took the transcript of almost 200 pages and created this 13-page summary that is just loaded with 60 tips and links. I got to tell you something. This one PDF of 60 ideas, in my opinion, is worth a whole year membership of the Power Program. We said some really great stuff in this thing. So anyway, let me just highlight where that is for the new power agents. When you go to the webinars on demand, you'll see it's obvious. Look at all those faces. I wish we had gotten a photo where people were actually smiling, for crying out loud. They look so serious over here. Where is it? And where is it? Look at this. What the? Look at those pusses. All right, now, but it was really great. So it's right there for you. Make sure you click on that. All right, next question.
They're powerful. Jerome says, do you get all this information even with the trial access? And
yeah.
What if you're not tech savvy?
Yeah, so a couple of things. Jerome, you get access to everything. So when you're a power agent, there's no different levels of power agents, okay? There is, well, let me clarify that. There is a VIP power agent, which is where I personally coach one-on-one with them. So And I only do 5 at a time. So we don't even advertise it and promote it because my schedule is full. I can't even take on anymore. But anyway, so other than that, when you sign up, Jerome, on the $5, you're a full power agent, period. You have access to all of this. And at the end of the 30 days, if you decide to continue, you do nothing, and then we'll just charge you $47 on the next second month and until you're not a power agent anymore. So you'll have access to everything is the answer.
On that note, do I have to sign a contract?
No, we don't believe in long-term contracts. We believe that if there's any month that you don't like the power program, you should cancel. We don't need your $47 a month if you're not happy. So we're not gonna, if it may not even be happy. Sometimes we have people that they're not using it as much as they would like to. They're too busy, but whatever. There's people do drop, and so we say, all right, goodbye, good luck. We wish you the best.
We earn your business every month.
That's how I should say. Yeah.
Let's see. Rekha says, how do we find telephone numbers for apartment renters for prospecting?
You want to use for apartments. You want to use RedX.
The geo leads.
Yeah, but it's through RedX. So you have to have a RedX account. So what happens if you go to Classroom and you click on RedX, it'll bring you to the Power Program membership page, and then what you'll do is you'll see our company logo there, Darryl Davis Seminars. So if you click there, it's carrying over your membership information, and then that's how you get it. You save $530 because you get a month free, and they don't charge you the setup fee. So that's a really great deal. And
so
when
you
you're
want to
there,
go through the portal, don't just go to RedX because you won't get that deal.
right? And what'll happen is that to find the rentals. Wait a second. Is it not there anymore? Oh, wait a second. All right, we're gonna have to. Oh, there it is. For rent by owners. For rent by owners, that's for now. If you want tenants, that's houses for rent. If you want tenants, then you would use GeoLeads to download a list of those people. Okay.
In a geographic area. So you'd use GeoLeads. Yes. Does RedX scrub their lists for the do not call?
Yes, they tell you when you open up your portal. So I'll show you. RedX. So here somewhere, this is a screenshot that's minimized, but somewhere here it'll tell you people who are on the do not call list. And I think
it's in individual records.
You think it's in the individual records? Yeah, I don't know. So, but to answer your question, there's some place, my screenshot's not showing it. There is some place where it actually shows you that somebody's on the do not call list. And I do think it's here. I just have the screen chopped off. And but you can also filter it out. You can say, do me a favor, just show me all the new FSBOs and don't show me if they're on the do not call list, and it'll take it out of the search for you.
Is RedX extra per month?
Yeah, yes, it is. After the 30 days free, that's the other, because that's a separate company. So that's not an add-on for us. That's why I don't talk about it, because it's a separate company, just like Box Brownie, like all these other, this is just a vendor. But we negotiated an incredible deal for you where you save over $500. What they charge is based on what you get. So these are the monthly charges for RedX. If you get the FSBO, they expired at $60, the FSBO, but if you do packages, then you can save money. So the most that it would all cost, if you did it all, I think it comes out to like about $300 a month for all of this. Less than 300 actually, but a lot of power agents, like if you don't want to do pre-foreclosures or rentals, a lot of power agents, they do the first two, the FSBOs and expireds, and that's it. So that's going to cost, less than $100 a month. If you got one listing that's sold from that probably paid for the next 10 years.
And GeoLeads, once you purchase a list, that list is yours to keep. So you can just download that. So people do that when they want to get a specific farm area or that kind of thing. So you don't have to stay subscribed. Once you purchase your list, it's yours.
Yeah. So what you can do is this is showing you can tag just like Zillow or Realtor.com, where you create a graph, say, all right, show me all of the all the homeowners in that area, and then you download it. So you're literally this $50 a month is giving you the option to buy and keep a list. So
yeah, as many lists as you want. Jay says, I've got reviews from my last sale on Zillow and LinkedIn, and now I've set up a Google My Business account. Is there anything else, any place else I should put in my reviews? I did a video review of my buyers, and now my listing will close next week, and I want to plan my social media.
Yeah, great question, Jay. I think always posting on your personal page, your business page on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, so all those places. And then as far as your business page, like if you use Google, I think Google is great to do. To me, that's the best place to have a review, because people always find it helps you with SEO. Yeah, I would make sure that you get it posted on Google. And if you have a business and Google recognize your business, they'll give you a link that you can give to people, and it'll direct people to rate your business with a Google review. So
awesome. Simone asked, I asked a listing agent if their client was looking for something particular in an offer, like little to no contingencies, 30-day or less. The listing agent was able to disclose enough information for me to get an idea to craft an offer. Oh, I guess she was just commenting on that.
okay, got it.
Sorry. Mary asked if I have Espresso agent for expireds and FSBOs. Can I keep using that?
Yeah, I don't know about Espresso agent. And yes, Mary, you can keep using it. So if you're asking me, can you keep using it as a power agent? I don't care what you're like. Those are vendors separate from what we teach. We have such a strong relationship with RedX, is why we have it spotlighted as a vendor, like you see on the screen right now. But yeah, if Espresso's working for you, and I don't care what you can absolutely use that. Yeah.
And the dialogues, you would still use the same dialogues for FSBOs and expireds.
Sure. Absolutely.
We have in our prospecting tab. So
yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. We covered that.
Do we have any other questions?
Oh, we did have where is the Sellopoly?
Sellopoly. Let's see if we do that. Sellopoly. Well, it's probably in the listing appointment as well. I just wrote sell up, and there it goes. Bada bing. There's the postcard, and there's the game. Perfect. So power agents, I want you to get used to doing the search, because it has to be in the title of the file. So if you think something is a chart, then type in the word chart, you'll find a chart. The Sellopoly, there you go. That's how I found it.
Okay. I think any last questions, anybody? Let us know.
Now, listen, we're going to end the call now. So that little bubble that is floating on the screen right now, if you're a guest, it's going to go away as soon as we turn this thing off. So I'm going to encourage you, like for less than a Starbucks, if you're a guest right now, click on that floating thing there to get access to all of this for a month. Be on the coaching calls on Monday. Start kicking the tires and see if you like it. So you probably have wasted $5 on other things that isn't nearly going to impact your business the way this could. So I encourage you to become a power agent today, and that's it. And for those of you, time again for a Monday call. Oh, the Monday coaching calls are 11 o'clock Eastern time, and so yeah. So if you can get on there right at the beginning, Mary just signed up. Congratulations, Mary. Who else signed up? Let me know if you're still on the call. I know a lot of people have hung up now because this has been another marathon training.
Go back to what you were saying at the very beginning of this call. What would it mean to your business if you've got just one extra listing in the next 30 days, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing all these things that we talk, or even picking and choosing some of the things that you talked about today, how many listings is that worth to you in the next 30 days?
Absolutely.
Like, don't wait to succeed more. Don't. I want everybody to jump in.
You know, this is the program. George just signed up. Congratulations. Nancy just signed up. Tell us who just signed up. I'm looking over here. So yes, congratulations, Nancy. Good, Nicole. And my mentee, Elizabeth. All right, Nicole,
Nice.
so great that you brought Elizabeth with you to this call. We're very much looking forward to working with you guys both. I see Lisa has a question. I'll answer that in just a second. But yeah, I will tell you, gang, if you haven't figured out, this program is not just marketing content and flyers and access to all this stuff. Not only is it a network with other power agents, but this is where you come to learn what to say, when to say, and how to say when you're with a buyer or seller. This is where the rubber meets the road training. So those Monday coaching calls are awesome. So make sure you're a part of those. I will tell you, a lot of power agents say $47 a month. Just the calls alone every Monday is worth it. But I'll tell you, we could charge hundreds of dollars based on what's out there, but we keep it affordable for everybody because we want to get as many agents to call themselves a power. Here's the truth. The truth is we have a mission in our company is to help power agents help the real estate industry be more about serving, not selling, coaching, not closing. So the more agents that we can have as power agents, that maybe we can change the perceptions that civilians have of realtors. So that's what we're committed to here. Now, Michelle signed up too. Congratulations, Michelle. All right. Lisa's got a question here, Julie. I'm going to read. I had the expired question. When calling expireds and they ask if I had shown their home and I haven't, how do I overcome that? Great question. So what you'll say, why didn't you show my listing when it was on MLS? You can say, well, Mrs. Hunter, how we work in our company is part of our ethical thing to do is to always serve our in-house clients first. So part of what we do in marketing a home is we take our clients' homes and we promote it and we focus on getting as many showings from other buyers and from other agents as possible. So the reason why I didn't show it is because my focus was with our in-house inventory. If you decided to hire me, and I'm not asking you to, I just want to come over and see your house, say I can help you. But if you do decide, you'll always be the first priority of our company and of me personally because my job is to market and get your house sold 100%. So would you be offended if I came by tonight at 6 or would 7 be better? That's how you'd answer that one. Nicole, I've spent more in online leads and have $0 in business to show for it. Yes, Nicole, right? That's a great distinction, Nicole. She just said, I've spent so much more money on getting leads than this $47 and I've gotten 0. And here we are, $5. So yeah, this is a great investment in yourself because I will tell you something. If you spend a ton of money on bringing business to you, but you don't know what to say, when to say, and how to say it when you do get the business, then you are wasting your money. In Nicole's case, she's not even getting the leads. This is where you learn. If a chef wanted to learn how to be a chef, this is the chef school for realtors. This is how you learn how to cook. And so, yeah, become a power agent, please. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. You probably have heard enough of me for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with Julie and my team behind the scenes. There's a whole team behind there, Gail and Sarah and April. So thanks to all of them. Listen, last thing I want to say to everybody is this. I alluded to it at the beginning of the call. What we do is really make a difference in people's lives. And real estate is the tool that you have chosen to help fulfill that, right? To make a difference in people's lives. The money you make is a gauge as to how many lives you've helped, how many lives you've touched. So focus more on going out there and helping people, serving people, touching their lives, helping them get to their next level, and the money will follow you. The money is a gauge as to how many lives you've touched. I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Stay safe, stay focused, and of course, don't forget to keep smiling. I'll see you on the next coaching call.